So, well, this is not the most exciting of topics, but from procurement perspective, it's one that's probably close to your heart, and it's a data governance discussion. And what we mean by governance of data is really just making sure it's the right data, it's got controls around it, you're not doing anything stupid with it, and it's appropriate, of the appropriate quality to make sure it's useful. So there's again three main sort of subcategories, if you like, out of data governance. One is sort of quality management. How do you make sure you maintain the quality of data? Second is sort of security, and related to that, which is another one, is like compliance. And although this does breach a little bit into the world of cyber, obviously from a procurement and commercial perspective, you really want to make sure your data is properly protected, because any leakage of data that happens out of your organization, you need to make sure that you've got commercial protection around that. Anyway, so data quality management. So clearly it's really hard to maintain good quality data when you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of people using that data, and you've got multiple internal and external sources. All you need is someone to put one wobbly bit of data in there and it can corrupt everything. So ensuring you've got the right rules in place and governance in place to protect the data, or protect the quality of the data when you're using it, really, really important. And again, there are tools out there to help you do this, but the software is sort of academic, really. It's more about making sure you understand what good looks like in terms of quality of data, and also probably having acceptable tolerances. You're never going to have 100% perfect data. I've never met a client who has got beautifully organized, perfect data. That's just not something to aspire to. But at least if you know what the rules are and what good looks like with regards to what's acceptable for quality standards, then you should be okay. So some of the products that are used around data quality management are things like Informatica Data Quality. I've mentioned Informatica before. They're a big sort of specialist in this field, and they do a lot of data quality, data analytic type tools. Again, not necessarily market leader, but probably one of the biggest brands out there, and certainly a lot of people have heard of it. Talent, again, data quality products, they've got plenty of those. IBM have got a number of data related products, including things like Infosphere. So there are lots of different ways that you can protect your data or ensure the quality of your data in the context of buying tools. Again, it's very much as a licensed purchase, but you need to make sure that your stakeholders have defined what quality means before you buy the product, so you get the right product for the right price, and make sure it's doing what you expect it to do. The second sort of area which I mentioned previously is data security. Now this is a whole sub-chapter in its own right. It's really all about ensuring that your data is secure, both in the context of what's happening with where it's stored, but also who can access it. And I'm going to do a whole video series, I think, on cyber and data security, or security generally, because security is really there primarily to protect your data, and therefore you don't want it leaking around. So lots and lots and lots and lots of cyber companies that I could talk about. The biggest ones probably being Symantec, which everyone would have heard of, and mainly because they used to put antivirus on your computer, but they've now been bought by a company called Broadcom, which if you work in IT, you've definitely heard of, because they've not really done themselves any favors over the last few years when they bought VMware and caused a few problems there. I'm not going to open up on that one. But also IBM have got plenty of products that can do these sorts of data security products. McAfee, any sort of cyber or data security brand will have a data security product that protects your data, and this is things like stopping it from leaking out of the organization, making sure that it's not even things like you're not breaching any sort of copyright or other cyber law, those sorts of things. Like I say, whole different topic. And the final thing is sort of compliance and policy management. If you have defined your secure data policies and making sure that you're not storing anything that's illegal, making sure that you're not storing, you're sharing information that's personally identifiable, which is very relevant for things like GDPR, then you can put in place pieces of software that will protect your data from breaking those policies. And so companies like AvePoint or Varonis, they will go out and they will check what's going on with your data and apply those policies to make sure you're within policy, and raise any flags about anyone who's storing personally identifiable information when in places they shouldn't, and those sorts of things as well. But governance is never a particularly interesting topic. It's putting in place rules to protect your data. Clearly, it's enormously important, especially at procurement level, because you want to make sure that you are laying off the liabilities as best you can for protecting your data and making sure data is protected, on behalf of the enterprise. You can get software to do that, and as long as you understand what your policies are, you should be able to apply that.